At the beginning of the story, we see a luxury yacht filled with tourists who are having the time of their lives. Among them is Gong, who has come on this trip with his young daughter because today is her birthday. To make her happy, Gong gifts her a walkie-talkie, promising they'll stay connected no matter what. Suddenly, everyone notices a huge group of dolphins jumping wildly out of the ocean. The tourists are thrilled, cheering and taking photos, unaware of the terrifying truth. Deep beneath the water, a giant snake is hunting those dolphins. Without warning, the massive snake attacks the yacht. Chaos breaks out as the yacht is completely destroyed. When Gong regains consciousness, he realizes that the survivors have somehow washed up on a remote island, but his happiness quickly turns into heartbreak when he can't find his daughter. He believes she drowned in the ocean. Just then, Gong hears a voice coming from the walkie-talkie. His daughter is still alive. She's trapped on the other side of the island with a few other people. Gong starts calling out to her, but suddenly a giant snake appears on the rocks behind them. Everyone panics and runs for their lives. Gong's daughter freezes in fear, unable to move. The giant snake attacks, sending people flying through the air. Gong, terrified but desperate, runs toward his daughter to save her. Another man tries to stop him, warning that the snake could kill him too. But it's too late. The monster swallows Gong's daughter and disappears into the jungle. Gong is completely shattered. Later, the remaining survivors gather together and begin planning how to escape the island. Everyone is grieving because each of them has lost someone. Gong is broken inside, but suddenly, once again, he hears a voice on the walkie-talkie. He believes his daughter might still be alive. Refusing to give up, Gong teams up with a man named Mao and a few others and decides to enter the jungle to save her and the remaining survivors. The rest of the group tries to stop them, believing the jungle is a death trap. But before anyone can react, a huge tongue shoots out of the jungle, killing people one by one. The survivors panic and run. Meanwhile, the giant snake returns to its cave and regurgitates the people it swallowed. It turns out the snake was collecting food for its newborn babies. Some of the victims, including Gong's daughter, are still alive. The yacht's captain tries to escape the cave, but it's impossible. When he approaches the snake's eggs, Gong's daughter warns him not to touch them. If the snake returns, everyone will be killed. However, a selfish businessman believes that destroying the eggs will save them all. He smashes one egg with a rock, but instead, a baby snake hatches. Terrified, everyone hides. A woman paralyzed by the snake's venom screams for help, but no one comes. The baby snake crawls toward her and swallows her alive. In the next scene, Gong and his team are tracking the giant snake through the jungle. They stop to rest, and when Mao cuts into a tree, a black liquid starts leaking out. Moments later, an old man throws a lit match on the ground, and the liquid instantly catches fire. That's when they realize the black liquid is highly flammable. They quickly put out the fire, but suddenly Gong starts feeling sick. He begins hallucinating, seeing his teammates laughing at him and his daughter blaming him for not saving her. At that moment, the giant snake appears and tries to crush him. Just in time, Mao splashes water on Gong, snapping him back to reality. Gong finally understands the truth. The tree itself is man-eating, using its roots to trap and kill people. Gong and Mao try to save their teammates, but one of them is brutally killed by the deadly tree. With no other choice, they escape the area as fast as possible, knowing the island is far more dangerous than they ever imagined. Meanwhile, inside the cave, the businessman manages to kill the baby snake with a rock. For now, everyone's life is saved, but killing the baby snake badly affects the businessman's mental state. He completely loses control, panics, and starts having seizures. Out of fear, he begins blaming everyone around him for what happened. A woman named Sushi tries to calm him down. She explains that if he keeps acting like this, none of them will ever escape the island. The only way out is to work together as a team. At the same time, Mao gives Gong some handmade wooden weapons, so he can protect himself if things go wrong. Soon after, one of the team members goes to a nearby river to drink water. Shockingly, these fish can survive outside water, and they can even fly through the air. Because of the heavy mist around the river, dozens of piranhas swarm him at once. The man runs back toward his teammates, screaming for help, but the piranhas chase him. Everyone starts running for their lives. They try to fight the fish, but it's useless. Their numbers are overwhelming. Mao risks his life to protect the group, and that's when he realizes something important. The piranhas can only fly when there's thick mist. The group quickly moves to an area without mist, and just like that, the piranhas stop attacking. Everyone survives, but their fear doesn't end there. They now notice huge footprints on the ground, clearly belonging to some massive creature. Everyone freezes, realizing they're still in deadly danger. Suddenly, they spot a giant insect sitting on a palm tree. Before anyone can react, a massive tongue shoots out and drags the insect away. It turns out a giant frog is hiding nearby. The group panics and runs, but the giant frog uses its long tongue to grab an old man, pulling him closer. The old man desperately grabs onto a tree while the others try to free him. When one man slashes the tongue with a knife, a toxic liquid sprays out, burning his face badly. At that moment, Mao Mao arrives and stabs the frog's eye with a wooden weapon, bursting it. Screaming in pain, the frog releases the old man. Everyone runs, but the giant frog makes one final leap to catch them. Before it can attack again, the giant snake appears and swallows the frog whole. Everyone is terrified. When the giant snake turns its attention toward them, they run as fast as they can. The old man and another injured man are too slow. Just as the snake is about to kill them, a young guy named Gofa throws a coconut, distracting the snake. The snake chases Gofa instead. Gofa hides inside thick trees, and the snake loses him, then turns back toward the others. Everyone hides behind trees, but the injured man is shaking uncontrollably and ends up urinating in fear. The snake notices him. The man begs for his life, but the giant snake shows no mercy. It kills and eats him. Then it begins hunting the rest of the group. To survive, everyone jumps into the water. Unable to see them clearly, the snake eventually leaves. Back inside the cave, the trapped survivors sense that the giant snake is returning. To avoid being attacked, they pretend to be dead. The snake enters the cave and regurgitates the man it swallowed in the jungle. But when it sees one of its babies dead, it becomes furious and storms out. Everyone breathes a sigh of relief. The businessman comes up with a plan. They can stack on top of each other to climb out of the cave, but before they can escape, the remaining eggs begin to hatch. Another baby snake crawls out and moves toward Gong's daughter. She remembers something she once read in a snake book. A newborn snake won't attack the first living creature it sees if it doesn't recognize its mother. Using this knowledge, she stays calm and shows the baby snake that she isn't a threat. The baby snake starts believing she is its mother. Meanwhile, the businessman tries escaping with the others, but slips and falls. The baby snake turns aggressive and attacks, wrapping itself around one man. The businessman grabs a hanging vine and climbs up. The pilot begs him to throw a rope down, but the businessman refuses. He abandons everyone and escapes alone. Meanwhile, Gong and his remaining teammates reach a ruined building hidden deep inside the jungle. The place looks like an abandoned research lab. Inside, they find the skeleton of a soldier who clearly died many years ago. From the evidence around them, they realize the truth. A team of scientists once came to this island for research, and the experiments they conducted on the wildlife are the reason the creatures here have become giant, mutated, and deadly. Suddenly, the same businessman comes running into the ruins. Gong immediately asks him about his daughter. The businessman lies and tells him that everyone except him is dead. Hearing this, Gong is completely shattered. As night falls, the group stays inside the ruins. The next morning, they wake up to the sound of a helicopter flying overhead, a rescue team searching the island. Everyone rushes outside, waving and shouting, trying to get its attention. But the helicopter doesn't see them and flies away. Moments later, Gong hears a voice on the walkie-talkie. He instantly realizes that his daughter and some others are still alive. When the rest of the group hears the voices too, they finally understand the truth. The businessman had been lying to them. The businessman panics and tries to run away. An old man chases after him, determined to stop him. At the same time, inside the cave, Gong's daughter is talking with Sushi. Sushi admits that she likes Gofa, even though he acts strange sometimes. Their conversation is cut short when more baby snakes begin hatching from the eggs, terrifying them both. Elsewhere, the businessman spots the helicopter again. This time, he manages to get its attention, but before it can land, the giant snake suddenly leaps into the air, attacks the helicopter, and swallows it whole. The businessman is traumatized by what he's just witnessed. The old man finally catches up to him, but he's no match. The businessman brutally kills the old man and continues running. Back in the cave, the snakes move in to attack Gong's daughter and Sushi, but the baby snake steps in, believing Gong's daughter is its mother. It blocks the other baby snakes, protecting her. Just then, Gong finally reaches the cave while searching for his daughter. When he sees her alive, he's overwhelmed with relief. He immediately starts lowering a tree trunk into the cave to help her and Sushi escape. At that moment, the giant snake returns, angrier than ever. Mao charges forward and strikes the snake's eyes with his axe, buying them time. The snake screams in pain. Gong tries desperately to pull his daughter and Sushi out of the cave. Mao continues fighting, but he's quickly overpowered. Just as the giant snake is about to kill him, Gong arrives and attacks the snake's second eye with his weapon. Mao then drops a huge wooden log on the snake, causing it unbearable pain. Meanwhile, the ship's captain helps the girls escape, but during the chaos, he's killed by the attacking baby snakes. The giant snake slowly regains control. Elsewhere, the businessman keeps running for his life. In panic, he falls straight into the snake cave, where dozens of baby snakes surround him. This time, there's no escape. The baby snakes kill and devour him. Meanwhile, Gong tries to escape the island with his daughter and the remaining survivors, but Mao stops them, warning everyone that they can't keep running forever. Sooner or later, the giant snake will catch them. The only way to survive is to kill it once and for all. At that moment, the giant snake appears and attacks Mao. Mao swings his axe and delivers a deep cut across the snake's body, but it barely slows the monster down. The snake overpowers Mao and is about to kill him, until Gofa steps in and saves his life. Working together, they distract the giant snake and lead it deep into the jungle toward the place where the man-eating tree is located. As the snake approaches, it realizes realizes too late that this is a trap. On the other side, Gong tells Sushi and his daughter to escape, while he runs back into the jungle to help Mao. But Mao suddenly emerges from the trees, panic in his eyes. He tells Gong that his daughter is in danger. Gong turns around, and his worst nightmare comes true. The giant snake is already there. Once again, it swallows Gong's daughter. Gong is completely shattered. Fueled by rage and grief, he charges at the snake, determined to kill it. The snake strikes back and nearly kills Gong, but Mao saves him at the last second. Together, they run toward the man-eating tree. As soon as the giant snake reaches the area covered in the black liquid, Mao sets it on fire. The liquid ignites instantly, and the snake is engulfed in flames. Burning alive, the giant snake tries to escape toward the ocean, but its wounds are too severe. Before it can reach the water, the monster collapses and dies. With the snake finally defeated, Gong rushes to the body and cuts his daughter free, but she isn't breathing. Everyone believes she's dead. Gong refuses to give up. Holding her close, he desperately tries to revive her. After several painful moments, she starts breathing again. Tears fill Gong's eyes as he realizes his daughter is alive, and with that final moment of hope and survival, the movie comes to an end. If this story touched your heart, subscribe for more emotional movie stories like this, and share it with someone who believes hope never dies. Because some battles aren't about winning, they're about saving the ones you love.